Hey, what's going on, everybody? Millsy here, and we're back with another Sons of the Forest video. And this video, we're going to be covering the first, I guess, major update that End Night Games put into Sons of the Forest. And the only reason why I'm calling this kind of a major update is purely because they've done a couple hot fixes in the past, and I'm just going to call those hot fixes. And considering the size of this update being about a gig in size, I'd say it's pretty major. They've added some really cool features to the game itself, and we're gonna go over some of those. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below of absolutely everything that they balanced, or some random bugs that I just don't feel like are worth mentioning in a video. I'm just gonna kind of mention what they've added and just some kind of key features. So first and foremost, at the top of their features list, they added binoculars. Not where to find it, just they added binoculars. They also added a hand glider. Again, don't know where to find that, but it is added into the game. They did add the defensive wall gate. I did manage to get into the game and build a defensive wall gate. There's a clip going right now that you can watch as I'm building it. And then they also added a mid-game boss in the food bunker. I did go to the food bunker. I don't have the key card in the current playthrough that I jumped into, that where you can go through the food bunker. I don't know if that's what triggers the mid-game boss or not. Considering it's titled a mid-game boss and you should probably have key cards, that's probably what triggers the mid-game boss, because I went into the food bunker and it was just all the same. Nothing changed. And then they added the settings reset into the options screen. Cool. Most games have something like that. And then they added another outfit for Virginia. They said it was missing. It is like a leather suit that you can pick up in the world. I guess all the content creators out there are gonna have to go around on a scavenger hunt and figure out where to find that. Also, which is really nice for all you people that like to build houses and stuff, or all you build freaks out there, you can now lock your doors with a stick. You quite literally just equip a stick, walk up to a door, and on the flat side of the door, you're able to just essentially put a stick on it and then slide it back and forth to lock it. It is kind of finicky because sometimes when you're building, the flat side of the door is on the outside of the structure instead of the inside. I know that heavily has to do with how you start placing your logs to begin with. I wish there was a rotate button to where you can kind of fix the door. But it is what it is. The door locks, unfortunately, in this case. On my particular watchtower, it locks on the outside, but luckily I have a rope to climb up. But I guess that's my way of locking Kelvin inside my compound. You can also grab your furniture now and move it around your house instead of having to destroy it and then rebuild a new one. Oftentimes, if you built some sort of furniture piece, when you destroy it, it doesn't really give you your materials back. At least it didn't for me. I don't know if that was a bug or not. But now you can just move your materials around, or not your materials around. You can now move your furniture around. Therefore you don't have to rebuild anything. So that's kind of nice in case you want to, I don't know, remodel the 3 furniture pieces that are available in the game. They did add some story elements into the game as well, so I'm really curious to see what pops up story wise for that. And then they also added a new headshot animation for cannibals. There are a couple different animations that I have noticed depending on like what you hit them in the head with, be it a firearm or an arrow. But adding more animations and just giving the cannibals a little more life, I think, is always really awesome. Them optimizing the AI and just giving us this like really immersive world is always something that's awesome. I'm always a fan of adding into the AI, and even if it's just their animations, right? So it just makes for a more immersive world. And one thing that I find is going to scare the living shit out of me eventually, and possibly you, is the angry cannibals can now attack out of the trees. So before, when they would jump into a tree, they would then have to jump onto the ground and then they would lunge at you. But now it seems like they can just go into a tree and jump at you. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is those muddies. Those muddies oftentimes go up into the trees. They like to set those little like leaf ambushes where they're hiding underneath those like leaf bushes or whatever, and then they pop out and go rah, right, and it scares the shit out of you. Scares the shit out of me. I'm not expecting it half the time, and boom, there they are, especially in the snow because it gets covered up in the snow. And so I'm really curious to see how often I'm gonna get ambushed out of a tree. That should be very interesting. Small birds will now, I guess, land and eat to gain fullness. That's not something that I really would have cared about in the first major, I guess, patch or update. I know a lot of people are gunning for dedicated servers. I'm about 3/4 of the way through this list, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, there is no dedicated servers support yet. That's really disappointing, at least to me, because I'd really like to get a dedicated server going to play with some friends and play with some subscribers. You know, man, it really sucks that support's not in the game yet. I'm really hoping in perhaps maybe the next update, you know, we get something that kind of helps us out in that regard, because dedicated servers just allows for friends to congregate together and not have to worry about who's hopping on and off. You know, if you got like a steady flow of 6-7 friends that might jump on at different times, you know, it just really helps with keeping that consecutive, you know, build or survival story going. It is something that I'm deeply disappointed to not see in this particular update. Not saying that it's not something that they're going to work on. They did have an Ask Me Anything thing on Reddit where they did bring up that dedicated servers are on the radar. Reading their response, it really didn't seem like I was going to see it in this first update, and perhaps even the next one. It doesn't seem like it's something that's like really in the forefront of their minds, as I kind of feel like balancing the game and adding features into the game is their #1 priority. I just feel like it would be really cool if they applied some sort of team to get dedicated servers going, because that is something that a big portion of the player base is asking for. Not everybody likes to play in single player mode all the time, or constantly have to log on and off different multiplayer loads. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents about the matter. I wish it was something that was higher priority. Well, I'm just crossing my fingers at this point. They did allow you to go to the options to hide player names and player tags. Cool. I mean, that might be something. I don't know. That's not really something I'm interested in either. I don't know why I would hide my friends who I'm playing with. Maybe it does muddy up the screen a little bit because they are fairly large. Name tags that pop up, and you know, you might want to clean up the visuals on the screen so it's not just muddied with a bunch of name tags floating around. So maybe that works. I don't know. That's okay though. They added the option to hide projectile reticles and trajectories, so that's okay. I mean, if you want to go for like a super immersive experience, play on hard mode and remove all aids from the game and just see how well you do, that might be pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, really the only thing that I found is like the spears. So the bows and arrows, the crossbows don't really have that trajectory. I guess throwing rocks does. But the spears I know do, but you're not really using a spear super late into the game, so you know, whatever. The fish trap now supposedly works. You can build it in water, and every 5 to 10 minutes you should have some fish popping up in there, so big plus for that. And then they added some lookout towers to the cannibal villages. Cool. I really like adding life into the world. I like the fact that there's going to be some perhaps different styles of villages, because I've noticed that there are like major villages and then like much smaller villages, right? And I'm really curious to see what these look like. I'm really excited to see what they look like. Yay. Something that I think is a big plus is the fact that when you pick up the story papers now, you can now zoom in. Like they added in this UI feature, or they added a UI feature that allows you to zoom in, so you don't have to like put your eyes against your monitor to try and read you know what it says. They did add a new structure type. I'm gonna go ahead and read this word for word right off the bullet point that they put in the article itself. So, added new structure type, one-sided apex. It fills the space between a leaning beam and its supporting beam. Aligns automatically based on the leaning beam orientation. Fits quarter log variations to the right length automatically. All right. So essentially what that means is when you're building up and you have, you know, an angled beam, it allows you to fill the gap between your vertical piece and your leaning piece. So you can now fill that gap, which is pretty nice. So that's really all the features that they added into this particular patch. And the balance is the next portion that they go over. I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to go over what I think is kind of the main things that are going to stand out that you will notice right away. So they did add a sleep cooldown. So you can't just like sleep, oh shit, it's nighttime, sleep. You do have to kind of time everything, you know, in terms of like your sleep schedule in the game. If you wake up at nighttime, you're gonna have to probably deal with some of those mutant hordes coming in. They did add a possibility of player sleep interruption events from nearby enemies that can reach your player while you're sleeping. So if you're not in like a super protected compound and there is a way that the game can detect that the cannibals can get to you or the mutants can get to you, it will interrupt your sleep. When you tell Kelvin to go catch fish and, you know, drop here or give to me, that no longer will just go on forever and he'll catch you like 150 fish and you'll just have like 100 fish rotting on the ground while you're struggling to cook all of it. It'll end after a certain time. So he'll eventually come to you and give you that notorious. Another big thing is they halved the shotgun damage. So who does this mainly affect? Virginia. Obviously the players do use shotguns more, but you know what a lot of players like to do is give her the shotgun, give her the pistol, have her go nuts. So the shotgun was ridiculously powerful. It was like a one-shot kill most of the time. There were some monsters where it wasn't. Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing. We'll see how it is halved. I haven't tested it out yet. I'm really curious to see what you guys think of the halved shotgun damage. Anytime something says halved, that means that something was drastically out of balance, and I'm curious to see where it falls right now. Is it going to be too weak, or is it still going to be strong? Like, how overpowered was the shotgun, you know, initially? And then that's pretty much the key things out of the balances section. As far as the improvements that they made in the game, I'm gonna leave that up to you to go ahead and read down in the description. Some of it is more story oriented, some of it isn't. There's nothing that truly stands out to me that's like, I gotta mention this in a video because holy shit. There's none of that really that I see. So the link down in the description, it's just a Steam powered article and it'll have all the details down below. There are a lot of fixes that they have added into the game. Again, too much to go over, way too much to go over. I'm going to go ahead and leave that for you to read down in the description, but I will say this. They did fix Kelvin cutting down trees with player structures attached. And then all you speedrunners out there, I'm talking to you, Spiffing Brit, you can no longer jump through doors with a stick. So you can't just run to the very end of the game and glitch your way through a door that initially needs a key card with the placing stick animation. The way you guys find these things is beyond me. I think it's hilarious. Good on you. Aside from that, I'm honestly going to leave the rest up to you guys to read. Those are just the main things that stand out to me. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about the entire update down below. It doesn't matter if it's a fix, balance, improvement, or one of the features. I just want to hear what you think down below. Did they add everything that you wished for? I know for me personally, the dedicated server thing is just a major kind of punch to the stomach. I really want dedicated servers. End Night Games, I have no idea if you guys watch these videos or not. I'm too small of a YouTuber for anybody to really give a shit, so please push that subscribe button. And anyway, I really hope they add dedicated servers, just because I just think it would make for a really cool, unique experience. Go get your hands on that new Virginia outfit. Go get your hands on the binoculars and the hand glider. I'm really curious to see where the hand glider is, so I can get my hands on that myself. I think that'd be a lot of fun to just climb up to the mountain and glide around the whole freaking island, if that's how it works. So anyways, if you guys like this type of video, please hit that subscribe button, that like button. It's completely free for you and it helps me out immensely. And I will see you guys on the next Sons of the Forest video. Take it easy.